Growing up in the Philippines, I realized that there was a need to cultivate environmental awareness. The Philippines is considered as one of the most vulnerable countries in the world in the face of climate change. I believe that life here could sometimes be challenging, but this is what makes it exciting. There are lots of potentials and opportunities that could improve living conditions here. My interest in sustainable building practices started when I was introduced to tropical architecture. Being one of the top graduates in my state university, I was fortunate enough to be offered to work in Singapore. Majority of the projects that I handled there were vying for green building certification. It made me realize how serious we need to be in responding to current environmental issues. After 5 years of working abroad, I wanted to come back. I felt like I had the responsibility to give back to my country and to the planet.
The Philippines is home, and for me, it's the best place in the world to live in. The World Bank has described the Philippines as one of the rising tigers in the developed world. But rapid development, urbanization, and high energy costs brings negative consequences to the environment. As an entrepreneur, we look up and try to emulate the spirit of discovery that these explorers had then. No? By venturing into sustainable development early days, we didn't know what was on the other side. But we decided to take the risk to create what is now rated to be among the best buildings in the country. We launched Arthaland in 2009. Green suppliers were not present, and construction companies were not familiar with the requirements of a green building. We consider that climate change is one of the most important and pressing challenges in the world today. And that's the reason why we were motivated to build the first building that would be awarded a net zero certificate by the World Bank's IFC EDGE program. We became the first property developer in the country to create the first green residential condominium, the first multi-certified commercial building, the first LEED Platinum certified neighborhood. Furthermore, we were the first property developer in Asia to become a signatory to the World Green Building Council's Net Zero Carbon Buildings commitment. We are putting the Philippines at the forefront in the fight against climate change. And it's the only real estate developer in the country with a 100% certified green development portfolio.
What drew me to Arthaland is that they adhere to highest standards of green building development while striving to uplift the lives of the people for a better future for all.
We are in the Arthaland Century Pacific Tower, our flagship office development. We are also participating in the Philippine Green Building Council's Advancing Net Zero program by using the Arthaland Century Pacific Tower's parameters as the template for the local net zero energy certification. The tower's electricity is 100% supplied by an off-site renewable energy source to neutralize its operational carbon emissions. The building reduces energy use by 45% and water consumption by 64%. These savings directly benefit the tenants of the property and not Arthaland. For us, this is our way of contributing to the global initiative to mitigate climate change.
So for Cebu Exchange, each zone, the low, the mid, and the high zone actually has its own garden to encourage interaction. For the Savina Park Villas, we have the Solihia.
So it adds a
Filipino, yeah.
touch.
Yes. For Savia Financial Center, the architect was able to introduce breezeway in between buildings.
Will it also improve the air circulation?
Yes, it's through and through. It's passive ventilation. The world needs pioneers. Otherwise, without the initiative, dedication, and foresight of a pioneering spirit, we may never evolve past what's in front of us. Like any other parent, I want the best for my kids. And one way of showing that is protecting the environment, their natural playground, their breathing space. We have to hope, plan, and strive to provide a better future for each other and for the next generations.
But it's my grandchildren and the great-grandchildren who should enjoy these things. And the only way they can enjoy is if we protect the environment. What's the use of building beautiful buildings if the pollution and the environment is so bad? And that's why we've decided to commit to this approach. It's doing the right thing, and it's about building sustainable legacies.